I learned more about who I was from my haters. I had no idea I was even important enough to be hated on the level I was hated on. I couldn't even defend myself because I was shocked that you cared enough to write anything about me. Who am I that you would care anyway? Your hatred of me helped to tutor me into understanding my own significance. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying?
I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own. Like, the reason I've been able to always do my thing is when I was 24 and people were like, oh, you work at your dad's liquor store? I heard that as like a chip on my shoulder, you know? I loved it. I was like, cool, keep sleeping on me, you know? Like, I'm glad you're on Wall Street making 100,000 buying BMWs and dumb jewelry. I'll see you in 30 years. Like, to me, the way you win is you realize you can't hear nobody. You gotta get real quiet up here. I can't hear anything. You go look at my Instagram right now, my first post, I'll post something, first 100 replies in 1 second, you're Jesus, you walk on water, you're the best, you're the all-time. Can't hear him. The next 100, you're a piece of, you're full of, you're a snake oil salesman. Can't hear him. I'm in my own mind, doing my own thing. And that comes with self-esteem. Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about you renting out cash from the bank and putting it to your ear. I'm not worried you jumped a fence and took a photo in front of a private plane. What do you think these people are doing? They're posing.
When you have goals and dreams you want to achieve, ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
And I'm going to tell you, I am amazed today at the people who allow criticism to shut down their assignment, who shrink into the abyss of depression, who walk away from what they have been called to do simply because everybody didn't validate them and support them. They simply gave up. It's amazing. In fact, I would be bodacious enough to say that you don't deserve the right to lead if you walk away just because somebody didn't agree with you. You don't need anybody who will just stand when times are good. You need somebody to stand when things are tough. I don't just need a good mama on a good day when the sun is shining and we can get along and everything's going. I need a good mama when the money is low, the circumstances are bad, all hell is breaking loose, I'm in trouble, I've almost lost my mind, but somebody who's going to stand there and be good in the midst of bullying and adversity. I need somebody who's going to stand there and be strong. In fact, good leadership is determined by tough times. You can't prove you're a good leader in good times. You prove good leadership in bad times and tough situations. So you earn the right to be heard through the things you suffer.
Be very careful of people who manipulate and play on your emotions. They get you to sympathize with them. They get you to feel sorry for them. This is not about being heartless. I need you to try your best to emotionally protect yourself from a specific characteristic.
Some of y'all are so used to operating overweight, you're never gonna get there. And guess what? You love negativity and dysfunction and keeping these negative people in your life so much. Even everything about this video, it makes you so uncomfortable, you probably stopped it a long time ago. I'm only talking to the people that are ready to get to the next level of their life and their career. And they're going to boldly walk into the next season of their life, unapologetically getting rid of all things, people, and situations that no longer belong in their life.
Beware of vision, dream, and passion killers. Most of the people that have no dreams will wake up every day trying to talk you out of your dreams. They have no goals. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. So they will talk you out of all the shit that you're excited about. Family and friends, in most cases,
Sad to even say this. Family and friends in most cases will be the first to try and talk you out of something that you're passionate, excited about, and that you have a vision for.
You can't try to help me by talking about me. It's totally different to talk to the person as opposed to talking about them. But all of us live in a world that we have to deal with criticism. And even amongst those who criticize us with evil intent, there may be something that you can learn from the criticism that will sharpen you and make you better. There are those people who say things maliciously and angrily to hurt, to assassinate you or your character or your talent or your ability. And even though their intentions are evil and wicked and corrupt, there may be some morsel of truth in what they said that helps you to hone yourself and prepare yourself and make yourself better so that you might be able to stand. Take what's good, leave what's bad, and keep on walking. When you are criticized, you are not ignored. That means that somebody noticed you, that you were doing something, that you attracted enough attention, that you made enough difference, that you got on the radar screen enough that they're talking about you. Don't run from them talking about you. They noticed you. They recognized you. There are some people that they're not talking about because they didn't even notice that they came in the room. You draw attention. And people who draw attention will also draw criticism. And the only way to avoid all criticism is to do nothing and then be ignored.
What we really want is not just success, we want fulfillment. The way we get fulfillment is self-respect, is self-confidence. And that's how somehow in your life you must begin to separate what you do from what people think about it. The people that have really won in life and in business, they eventually drop the addiction to what other people think about them. They're most concerned about what they think about them, or if they're a person of faith, of what their God thinks about them, not the rest of the world. Because the higher you climb, the more haters you're going to have. There's absolutely no question about it. You ought to hope you have more of them. The only thing I will warn people of is the higher you climb, the closer to you the haters are. So right now, if you're at one level of success, it's people at a distance that are haters. But as you climb higher, there's always those one or two people in your close circle who begin to try to pull you back down because they think you're leaving them. They make you, your success is making them uncomfortable about where they are. And so they begin to do everything they can to pull you back down.
If you're new to the Impact Secret Podcast Show, welcome to the family. To my existing family, big up. Thank you for joining as always. On this podcast show, we shift the mindset through personal development. I am your humble host, ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, that just simply means Ed. Now, pull up to the dinner table. I got some stories to tell. You know the slogan here. Bet on yourself. You won't win unless you get in the game. Quote of the year, in my humble opinion, you never know how strong you are until strong is the only choice you have. Bob Marley. Again, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Bob Marley. 3 impact secret value points. First value point, can't hear them. You can't hear them. Value point number 2, don't walk away. Don't walk away. Value point number 3, the biggest enemy you have to deal with is you. Again, the biggest enemy you have to deal with you is you. Today's episode is entitled, It's Because of My Pain, Agony, Bad Decisions, and Defeats that I'm allowed to speak. Again, it's because of my pain, agony, bad decisions, and defeats that I am allowed to speak. Let's get into today's show. You know, family, that title is, although it's long, it's very interesting because I guarantee you that is the synopsis or the beginning or even the middle of our lives, the decisions we've made, whether they've been good or bad, they've somehow, some way have, when they've been bad, created some type of pain and agony. And then you deal with the actual aspects of being or feeling defeated. You see, when I always say when I'm continuing to learn is because I am emphasizing the continuing to learn, because of the fact of a lot of times we get excited about information we learn and then we think that's where it stops. See, that's why I know, matter of fact, it's not what I think, is what I know, is that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is really truly yourself. Because if you think about it, if you unpack it, the things or people that you listen to, if you chose to not to listen to them, or if you chose not to go down that particular path, that is something that you are fighting internally. Like, hey, should I listen to them or should I not listen to them? Am I being stubborn? You are going through all of these different emotions as well as decision-making patterns of making sure you make the best decision. Don't we all wish we can, when a decision arises, that we can make the best decision, or the decision based solely off of the information that was provided and we feel like it's A1 in layman's terms, meaning that we feel like this decision was the greatest decision of them all. How many of us had those greatest decisions and then we find out later that I missed that, or I overlooked what this person was presenting, or I overlooked this particular aspect. But see, what we fail to realize, family, is that a lot of times is, and I'm so guilty of this, that we place what we've been through on other people, in a sense of that we want to help them, or we want to guide them, or we want to put them in a better position because we don't want them to go through that particular pain. That is the same thing of as a parent, where you protect your child so much because you don't want them, you know how you felt, you know what you went through to get there. But a lot of times when you get in the way, when you try to prevent and block that, what tends to happen, a couple things can happen. It can happen anyway, because you focus so hard on it that you lose track and you lose focus on the other areas that you could be assisting in. Also, you don't prepare them for the real world, because the real world will not be as kind and as gentle with regards to their feelings. And so for me, how this relates so well with me is the biggest enemy inside of me, meaning that the conversations that I have of like, oh, I don't want to do this, but if I do this, well, you know, what are the outcomes of me moving forward with doing this? And a lot of times, family, what you have to do to overcome this is you can't get caught up in if it's going to be a bad decision or a good decision. I know that's rare, but you can't get caught up. Once you understand the facts, once you got all the information that you possibly could have obtained. Now, don't get over, information overload, but you've got all the raw numbers, the raw data based on everything that you've experienced, or maybe you haven't experienced this before, and you make a decision, stand on it. Because what will happen is one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to learn from it or you're going to learn from it. I'll slow that down because maybe I may have missed you on that one. I said one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to learn from it or you're going to learn from it. And when you learn from it, what you can understand is take that data and know that, okay, this time around, I won't make that same decision, because when I made that decision, this is the outcome. Maybe I need to go a different way about taking that different approach. And a lot of times that's how I've, found out that I make better decisions. See, a lot of times people are fearful to make a decision, and because they're fearful, they make no decision at all. And then when they make no decision at all, what ends up happening is a decision is made for them. And so what you have to do is, take a risk and say, let me go out and see if this makes sense. I remember when this guy, he was actually doing, he told me about an opportunity, which is like basically I don't want to say a side hustle, because it was a lot of work entailed. So he said another additional way of making money. So I was all ears. So he said, this is what you need to do. You go look at this information. You're going to have to get certified. And then basically what I would be doing is working with insurance companies and homeowners on like if any damage or anything like that happened. Now I could see that promising. I think that would be a great opportunity. But then I was like, is this something that I really want to do? What am I doing it for? See, a lot of times, family, we do things and we walk away from our purpose, or we do things because we don't do them for the right things, if that makes any sense. Meaning, if I would have done that, I would have only been doing it because of the money, which the money is a byproduct. But again, how long are we going to focus on and say, okay, if I'm doing this for the money, then I need to know that this money is a driver for what the thing I really want to do. And a lot of times we get so caught up in the money and doing so well with the money that we forget, or I like the line that Jay said, we forgot what we came for. And when you forget what you came for, if for me, and the like-minded individuals I'm wanting to surround myself with and be a community with and be a part of is that each level that I go to, I want to experience something different. I want to experience an opportunity to learn even more, learn even, better, that each time you see me, as far as each year, that I should be getting better. I should be working, if not the same or harder on focusing on the required goals in order to get to the next levels. A lot of times we walk away from when we're almost there. And I can be a testimonial for anybody, how even with this whole podcast, how it started, there's been many times that I wanted to walk away. I wanted to walk away because I wasn't seeing the numbers that I was getting, and I wasn't being able to help the people that I wanted to help because I wasn't getting a lot of feedback, and that made me feel some kind of way, like maybe this is not, what I should be doing. But what I failed to realize is that this is going to take time. And with time, right now I'm in the shadows, and in the shadows, I'm having an opportunity to get better at this craft. I'm having an opportunity to find and structure my content. So once someone puts me in, and when the spotlight is upon me, that I can actually get ready. That's why we are almost at the 200 mark. And for the 200 mark, this is why I made a decision. Listening to that audio clip, I was like, it's time to take it to the next level now. See, that first level for me was just actually getting my voice out. It was actually me just understanding, not even how podcasts working. It was just recording every day, Monday through Friday. Then the next step for me was, okay, what about the equipment? How can I make the sound a little bit better? And I'm still tweaking that and still working and learning that. And now 3 is understanding the marketing, the sales and marketing, and then the foundation of growing this movement of personal development and business. And now I'm going to be creating a business podcast. So it's going to require something of me to be able to step back. And stepping back means, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to really take, some of the episodes that either I've gotten a lot of downloads or things that I genuinely loved, and putting it out on social media so people can understand, hey, that I'm out here, that there is a podcast show around business and personal development. See, a lot of times I've told you this before, family, we get so excited, we get that dopamine rush and that inspiration and motivation, but then we don't know how to do anything with it. So my goal is, as I'm learning how to make money online, as I'm learning different tips and tricks of the trade, I want to make sure that there's a platform, there's an opportunity where people that are just as interested as I am in the marketing and sales and just business as a whole, that they can be part of a community where they're not made to feel dumb, or they're not made to feel like they're less than important, that they're not made to feel like they couldn't achieve this. So it will be a learning progression together, just like this whole personal development. When I found my voice I love personal development, and I was so excited about it. I wanted everyone to learn, and that's something I want to definitely increase and get better with, because I really truly understand and know that self-belief, or the limited beliefs that people have, can be broken if they have the right information. And when I say the right information, is networking with people that are actually doing this day in and day out. And it's challenging because, you can try and look for perfection in people who's doing this day in and day out. And you may find some, but what needs to be understood and to help people is that you're not looking to be perfect. You need to be doing it one more or two more or three more than someone else that's not doing it at all. Because I remember I heard this and I may mess up the quote or whatever, or the statement. They said, what's the difference in somebody who is unable to read, basically can't read, and somebody that chooses not to read a book a month or a book a year? And they were like, there is no difference. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And it's just like, and that's why my focus has been on the mindset and now bringing in the business aspect. But I had to go through this progression of finding my voice. I'm still finding things and what is the true lane? Where are people having the most challenges of moving forward? Is it that what people are saying to them? Is it the they that telling them that they can't do it? Or is it that people haven't figured out how to stay so tunnel vision focused that it's hard for them to hear what people are saying and the judgments that they're placing on them? Because when you start really talking, and I've shared this with you plenty of times, and I'm going to be like a tape recorder, if you guys know what that is. But basically I will be someone that will repeat it over and over until you get it, because we need to get it. Because if we don't understand it, what will happen is that anyone can come in and break up that force field. Anyone can come in and disrupt the goals that we've had destined for our lives. And so what I'll say is that the outside noise, yes, some of it may be true, but always go and do your homework on them and see if they're doing what you're doing. If they're not doing what you're doing, nor have they attempted it, what do we need to talk about? What is this conversation about truly? So family, what I'm telling you and what I'm advising you is that you must have the courage to not walk away. You must have the courage to maybe hear, but not listen to what your haters are saying, because you can hear what they're saying, like, oh yeah. And you got to have the mindset and the personality to be able to do this. And this was developed over time for me, of being able to take that negativity and take all of that energy. And I use it as fuel, but I understand as well is that sometimes if you use that as fuel too much, then that's the only thing that's fueling you. So you got to be able to be balanced, and being balanced is also looking within, because again, if you really focus on within, if you really put that effort within, the sky is the limit. And we're in this car together, as I said, and I'm having a great time. Like I said, we're almost at 200 episodes. Just think, I just started this last year around, I don't remember the date, but it was middle of the year or something like that, I believe. But I'm going to be more accurate with that. And we're almost at 200 episodes. And what is so amazing is the transition of continually each episode to figure out what I can do differently, what I can, how can I get better? And that's what you got to do, family. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, if you're thinking about doing YouTube, if you're thinking whatever it is, just do it. And my commitment to you is, after the 200 episode, what I plan on doing is more or less of creating. We're going to actually bring the visual pieces. It's time to bring in the visual piece, meaning we will have the camera going, and so you'll have a voice to put with the face now, family, and you'll be able to have an opportunity. I'm gonna do live events. I'm about to step out my comfort zone. So after this month, I think we should be able to hit it within probably, within the next month or so. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's show. This has been the Impact Secret Podcast Show. I have been your humble host, ED. Again, family, make sure that you deal with the enemy within, because you kill the enemy within. The enemy without can do you no harm. Until next time, peace.